I am so excited for this spa day. Candles lit, music on, hot tub warm and ready. And then my chronic hives come back. Again, in the middle of my spa day. What a wet blanket. Looks like another spell of itchy red skin. If you have chronic spontaneous urticaria, or CSU, there is a different treatment option. Hives during my next spa day? Not if I can help it. Learn more at treatmyhives.com.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. And naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I'm the Executive Director of the National Street Food Vendors Association, which is a nonprofit dedicated to education, advocacy, and uplifting all food vendors. Today, we're going to be talking about a system and what a system means to your business. But before we get into that, I want to remind you guys I'm going to be in Edison, New Jersey. I'm going to be a part of the Food Truck Owners Expo. That's going to be on December 2nd and 3rd of 2025. I'll be giving 2 classes. Once those classes are over, I will be out on the main expo floor where you can join me in my National Street Food Vendors Association booth, where we can talk about your success. We can answer any questions you got about food truck business in general, starting in a trailer or starting in a tent. Got it all covered. Or you can just hang out with us and have a great time. Again, in Edison, New Jersey, December 2nd and 3rd of 2025. If you'd like to attend, please go to FTOexpo.com, place the order for the tickets today, and when you do, put in the code FTTG15 for a 15% discount. So now let's talk about specifically what a system is. This question came up as a post on our Facebook group, and I'll read it in part. It says, your food doesn't make you money, your system does. And that's a pretty accurate statement, the author goes on to say, unless you have amazing food that people can't get anywhere else. However, when you have 13 smash burger trucks in the same area, your system is going to be the moneymaker. And then, of course, that brought in a bunch of dissenters like, no, food makes a difference. And then a bunch of people say, yeah, you're right. So let's break that down. What does that mean? And sadly, the statement went over most people's heads. You need to be a functional business. You need a system. A system means that you are able to duplicate your promise, whatever that promise is. You sell a smash burger, you sell poutine, it doesn't matter what your food product is. A system allows you to duplicate that product over and over and over in 2 different ways. One is of taste, and then the other is in the service. So if you don't have a system, then it's going to taste really good sometimes. It's going to taste really bad sometimes. Service on some days is going to be super fast, and on other days is going to be super slow because you don't have a system in place to make sure you can be consistent in delivery of the promise, and the promise being good food and good service. Sadly, that post went over many people's heads. They only looked at, food's what people come for. It'll bring them back. Okay, it will bring them back, yes, but it will also chase them away as if the next time you're not consistent. That taste isn't the same. A recipe is a system. A recipe means you can duplicate the flavor over and over and over. If you don't have a recipe, then you don't have a system. If you don't have a system, then you're going to disappoint people. So you got to understand all of those things work together. A system. How do we do this particular item? So take a burger. They talked about smash burgers in the post. We sell burgers here on our food truck. Real simple. How's the burger cooked? Is it smashed? Is it not smashed? If it is smashed, how do you do that? We do smash burgers. And the method is we want our griddle, and I temp it every time before I cook to make sure that it's hot enough so it gets that good sizzle. It gets that good build up a crust, as they say. So once I temp the grill, no, yes, I can put the burgers down. So I put them down. Then what happens? This is the beginning of the system. The burgers are laid. Then we season them. Okay, what's the seasoning recipe? We do salt, we do pepper, we do onion powder, we do garlic powder, and I don't do the recipe, so I don't know off the top of my head. Melissa does it, but it's got at least those 4 items, and I think it has one more. I don't remember what it is, but in any case, we do have that recipe. So how many shakes? Is it 1 shake? Is it 2 shakes? Is it a side-to-side motion? What is that step? You want it to be consistent every single time. You don't want somebody to go, hey, this is really tasty, and then the next time they come and go, where's the seasoning? That's consistency. Consistency comes from having a system. A system is a repeatable way of doing something. And there's also a way to teach people how to do it. So once those burgers are down, we've seasoned them all, then what happens? We smash them. Now, how do you smash them? Some people use the press and smash them. Some people use a spatula, a hard spatula. A lot of people don't know. Wendy's actually technically in the beginning, I don't know what they do now. I haven't worked for them for a while. But in the beginning, they were technically smash burgers. So the square patty, we put it on the griddle and we did it in rows. So we'd have 4 patties in a row. We would season it with rock salt and that was it. There was nothing else in it, just rock salt. And then we did what we called a 4-corner press, because remember, it's square patty, so each corner got pressed. And we did it in a rocking motion, so it would expand out. It would smash the burger. And of course, the cooking process would allow it to shrink back to an extent. But it was technically smashed into the grill that first time. And then we did... As soon as the blood starts to rise, or the juice as they called it, as soon as it starts to rise up a little bit and there's a little pool on the top, we'd flip the burgers over. Same deal. As soon as the juices start to rise again, flip them over again. So in our parlance at Wendy's, it was fresh patties, turn once, turn twice, done. And that's how we did it. That was a system. It was repeatable. That's what having a system means. But a system isn't just cooking. A system is also how do we wait on our guests? What does that system look like? You can't just look around and go, oh, look, I think that guy wants to be waited on. I'll walk up and talk to him. So what do you say? That's a system when you have some type of formal greeting. Then how do you get the order out of the guest's mouth into some input that you can communicate to whoever's cooking? Even if it's you all by yourself. Do you depend upon your memory? That's a system. It's a bad system, but it's a system. Do you write it down? Again, bad system, but it is a system. Do you use a POS system with a KDS? There's the best system. But all of those are systems. What you're looking for is the most efficient system that is duplicatable, especially when you're busy. That's what a system is. But it goes beyond just cooking. It goes beyond just taking an order. It's about how do we deliver the order? How's it packaged? How many items can go in a bag? If you don't know how many items can go in a bag, you need to develop a system. We had bagging systems at every fast food restaurant that I worked for with diagrams. They would show this size bag can hold this number of items and how those items should be put in that bag. Those are all systems. The more systems you have in place, the easier it is for you to train and the easier it is for you to be consistent within your own business. If you're not consistent within your own business, guess what happens? People don't know what to expect. Oh, the food might be good today. Let's play food roulette. Will I get a good meal today from this food truck, or will it be a bad one? Now, how many times do you think people are going to play food roulette with your business before they just go, heck with them? I'm hungry. I want good food. I'm spending my hard-earned money on that food. I want to at least know it's going to be good every single time I go there. Systems help you to deliver great food and great service. If you don't have a system, your food's not going to be great all the time. You might think it is because you're working really hard and you got sweat pouring off of you and you know you're working hard. Working hard is not a system. And in some cases, having a system will help you to work less hard. So the system is the cooking process, the service process, the expediting process. But what about when we're not open? We need systems for that too. How do we clean up? What is that system? How do we turn stuff off? How do we filter the fryer? How do we clean the grill? What does it look like as far as this is clean and this is not clean? That's a system. Do we sweep the floor? Do we mop the floor? What do we do? Those are all systems. How do you do it? Front to back, side to side, figure 8. I'm talking about mopping. How do you do it? That's a system. We had a system to mop at Burger King. And the system was you filled up the bucket with water, you put in a certain amount of soap, and then you came out and you did a 2-foot by 3-foot section in figure 8s. Once that section was clean, then you moved on to the next section. And then once you've done the whole floor, then you're going to go back over it with just plain water to help pick up the soap that was on the floor. Everything has a system. If you are a serious business owner, if you're just the weekend hobbyist, then yeah, all you do is worry about cooking. Hey, what do you want? Okay, I'll get it out to you in 15 minutes. And then maybe you do, maybe you don't. So when you think about a system, every food service business out there has a system. You have a system, whether you know it or not. Not having a system is a system. So the idea is when you do have a system, and whatever your system may be, is you work to improve it and make it a better system so that you can produce more consistent results for your business and for your guests. Those consistent results will end up increasing your revenue. But if you don't have a system, you're going to go out of business. And it's going to be a struggle until you finally make that decision of, okay, this just ain't worth it. I'm going to sell. So if you want to think about a system, let's talk McDonald's. You can hate their food, and a lot of food truck owners will look down on McDonald's, but I can tell you any fast food restaurant, if it is done correctly to their specifications, the food's actually pretty good. The problem is they entrust the food, their product, their main product, to a bunch of teenagers that just don't care. Now, whole timer went off. Yeah, we'll just reset it. I ain't cooking no more. Or they're too busy scrolling on their phone and they don't even bother to set the timers. So the process becomes, or the system becomes, it ain't old till it's sold. Because they don't know until somebody bites into them and goes, this burger's dried out. This burger's old. This burger's cold. And they bring it back, and then you get the little cashier that rolls their eyes. Oh my God, those idiots in the kitchen again. I need this remade. It's not hot. And they complain like it's the guest is the one that's wrong. See, in a food truck, most people won't bring it back. They just don't come back. Oh, this is gross. I ain't coming back. So you see that meme that people put out that McDonald's will have 100 complaints and they'll still be busy, but a small business gets one complaint and they don't come back. Well, you're right. They won't. You have one shot to get it right and you screwed it up. In the 50s, McDonald's had one shot to get it right and they tried their best not to screw it up. And because in the 50s, when they had the chance of, well, I ain't coming back there, they survived the 50s because they did it right. And they earned that opportunity now that, oh, well, they screwed up. They normally don't screw up. But see, you as a food business, if you screw up 2 times in a row and it's the same person, they ain't coming back. They will have learned that you're inconsistent. You have no system. So a system will keep you in business longer than not having a system. All a system does is allows you to duplicate your own success and then train so that people can duplicate it for you. So that system, paired with good food and good service, gives you the chance to, 10 years from now, mess up every once in a while and people will be forgiving. And you'll probably have 3 or 4 or 5 food trucks at that point. But a system with okay food and okay service is McDonald's. McDonald's is considered to be one of the best food chains in America. People will refer to them all the time, whether you like the food or not, because there's a whole bunch of people that claim they don't like McDonald's, but heaven forbid that they still are doing on average $3.5 to $4 million a year per unit. Okay, well, they obviously don't need your business. They are successful. What makes them successful is they have systems, they can train those systems, and then they have okay food, okay service. The system is what makes the difference. Now, you want to see somebody that's firing on all cylinders, that has a duplicatable and trainable system, that has high volume sales based on really good food and amazing service. Look at Chick-fil-A. They are the #1 restaurant chain in the United States in average unit volume, AUV, average unit volume. They do over $8 million per restaurant. McDonald's, already told you, is 3.5 to 4.5. I can't remember the number for 2025. The next closest chain only does around 5.5 to 6 million. So there's almost a 2 million per unit difference between Chick-fil-A, who has an amazing duplicatable and trainable system. They have great food for what it is. It's a chicken sandwich. I eat there as frequently as I can. And they have blazingly fast service that's friendly. $8.5 million a year. And they do it being only open 6 days a week. So they are open less frequently than the next highest volume unit chain out there, and they're not even the same category as far as sales go. That's a system. System makes the difference. Because I can tell you right now, a properly executed Wendy's, a properly executed McDonald's burger, a properly executed Jack in the Box burger will be just as good as your smash burger on your food truck. The difference is they have a system to where they are most likely able to duplicate the result for the guest, because that's all the guest cares about. I want that burger and I want it to be the same as last week when I thought it was really, really good. But they come to your food truck, they get a good one this week, they get a bad one next week. Okay, we're screwed up. The guy's not that busy. It's the same dude working. What's going on? They might give you that third opportunity, but once they do, and you messed it up again, they're out. They're not coming back. To determine a pattern, all it takes is 3 points of data. 3. And that starts to create a pattern. So from this standpoint, comes in week 1, great service, great food. They're awesome. They're impressed. They're coming back next week. Bad food. Okay service. All right, that's 2 points. Well, 50-50. But now they come the third week, and it's bad food and slow service again. 3 visits, 2 out of the 3 are bad. That's a pattern. They're not coming back. Is it fair? Probably not, because you might have had 2 weeks in a row where you realize that something's wrong. You figured out what that something wrong was and then fixed it, and then now you got to spend money to entice them to come back marketing-wise. But if you had a system in place, you may not have messed up the third time. Mistakes happen, so you could mess up once, but when you mess up twice in a row, people notice. And like I said, 3 data points and 2 out of 3 are bad. They ain't coming back. Have a system. Systems allow you to duplicate, and the systems allow you to train. If you don't have a system, you're not going to be as successful, and you're going to work way harder. And remember, a system is a recipe. It's your recipe for success. You need those systems. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're finding everything helpful that we do, please consider subscribing. If you love what we do, show some support. There's a link in the description to make that happen. Until next time, you guys have a profitable day.